Nerd, Sarah Schwartz, the paper nerd here, and I can hardly believe today is the day for my very first stamp dedication ceremony. The U.S. Postal Service chose the Great American Stamp Show in Cleveland to hold its dedication ceremony for the Thinking of You Forever stamps, and lucky me, I'm a local. Kara Green, Controller and Vice President, United States Postal Service, will be on hand to dedicate these 5 new stamps. They are presented on a pane of 20 stamps featuring 4 each of them. Here's a sneak peek from my invitation. The original art is by illustrator Ellen Surrey. Greg Breeding, art director for the United States Postal Service, designed the stamps themselves. As an active member of the Greeting Card Association, aka the GCA, I just want to say that the GCA's Thinking of You Week committee did so much of the heavy lifting here. The actual Thinking of You Week will occur next month, September 18th to 24th, during which everyone is encouraged to reach out to family and friends with snail mail to let them know you're thinking about them. Thinking of You Week is actually a British import. It was started by the British Greeting Card Association and was picked up by the American GCA. Research has shown that despite technology connecting us more than ever, people, especially younger people, express high levels of loneliness. Actual physical connections that travel through time and space create a better sense of well-being, both for now and for posterity. If you really want to push yourself, take the Thinking of You Week challenge and send a card every day for 7 days. During all of September, the United States Post Office will use a special Thinking of You postmark to cancel every last card and letter sent. So what are we waiting for? Let's check it out already.
Thinking of You Forever stamps. I'm Dawn Hammond. I have the honor to be president of the American Topical Association, the world's largest organization for people who collect topics on stamps. I enjoy many aspects of our great hobby, including researching and collecting many topics and developing competitive exhibits. I hope you have time to see the National Topical Stamp Show portion of the exhibits here at the show. Each tells a fascinating story illustrated with topical stamps. I am thrilled to be your Master of Ceremonies this morning. We have a wonderful program for you with several guest speakers I'm sure you'll enjoy. Before we get started, I'd like to ask everyone to please take a moment to silence your phones. However, we do hope that you'll still share your photos on social media using hashtag #ThinkingOfYouStamps. Thank you. At this time, we ask that you please stand for the presentation of colors by the Postal Service Honor Guard Troop. Tiffany Einot, Brian Starr, Ken Justin. Then please remain standing for the national anthem, performed by Nicole Harrell, a Postal Service Supervisor of Distribution and Operations.
See, I'm going early on. So proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, our stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bonfires in air, gave sing of that star-spangled banner yet wave. For the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Nicole, for that beautiful performance. We all enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And many thanks to the Postal Service Honor Guard troop. Now I'm pleased to present our next speaker, Scott English, the 7th Executive Director of the American Philatelic Society. Prior to joining AAPS, he had a distinguished career working at the highest levels of government, on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., and in South Carolina Governor's Office in several roles, including Chief of Staff in the second term. He also served as Chief Operating Officer of the South Carolina Department of Education. For the past 8 years, he's been an important advocate for stamp collecting. Scott?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Scott.
That is terrible. Come on. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Scott.
Day 2 of Stamp Show in Cleveland. This is so exciting. It is wonderful to see all of you. I was here yesterday. I celebrated my 8th anniversary with the APS. One for applause. And then I took a selfie. This morning I talked about that with the true rock star of this event, Christina, and she made fun of me because she said she didn't see anybody in the picture. So when I showed her the picture, she tried to find herself in there and she wasn't there. So today, I'm going to do it again, except I'm going to ask Christina to come up here with me so that she can be in the picture too.
Yay, Katina!
Now, when you hear her talk, you're going to understand why it's a big deal that she's here and how exciting it is to have her as part of the program. And I'll have picture proof when I'm an grayer old man, that I knew her when. And so I'm very excited to be a part of this program today. I also want to say thank you to our friends at the American Topical Association, along with the American First Day Cover Society. They co-sponsor this show with us. And since we've been doing this show with the ATA and the AFDCS, I think it's gotten better every year. And this is a prime example of what you can do when the hobby works together. And so I want to thank Dawn and all the great folks at the American Topical Association. Please stop by their booth. Make sure you sign up for a membership. I have been a proud member of the ATA since 2015, and I want you to join me in doing that. I'm also a proud member of the APS, so if you're not a member, please join there too. I have to pay my bills too. But, and at the same time, the last thing I'll ask you to do is please stop by the USPS booth. This show could not happen every year without the United States Postal Service. We all wouldn't be here without the United States Postal Service. And so I want you to make sure that you do 2 things for me. Number 1, stop by and buy some stamps. Every stamp show I go to, I stop at the USPS booth and I buy stamps. The other thing that I do is I thank the men and women that work for the USPS that are there for the great work that they do every day. They're part of our family, and I'm grateful for all that they do, and I'm glad we get to showcase some of the very talented people that work for the USPS at each one of these events. So please, enjoy the ceremony, spend lots of money, and remember to join the APS. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Now I'm pleased to welcome our dedicating official. Kara Green is Vice President and Controller at the U.S. Postal Service. Kara is responsible for certifying financial filings as the Chief Accounting Officer. She is also responsible for external reporting, accounting services, corporate audits, and other essential functions. As you can well imagine, it's an enormous undertaking. Postal Service, with its 635,000 employees, think of this, is the only organization that delivers to every home business in the country. In fact, the Postal Service delivers more e-commerce packages to American homes than any other shipper. Everyone, please say hello to Kara Green.
Thank you, Dawn, for the kind introduction. Good morning.
Good morning,
I'm
Dawn.
delighted to represent the Postal Service as we dedicate our Thinking of You stamps, which celebrate the special connections we make through the mail. It's always a pleasure to participate in happy occasions like a stamp dedication, but today is an extra special treat for me because we're at the Great American Stamp Show with our friends from the American Philatelic Society. Thank you all for your support today. I'll have more to say in a moment, but without further ado, I'd like to invite our other guests to help with the official unveiling and dedication of our Thinking of You stamps. Get your cameras ready, because this is your opportunity to take photos of all of us together in front of the stamp. Please join me at the stamp.
Let's see them. Let's see.
Aren't they wonderful? They're so fun and fabulous. The stamps were designed by art director Greg Breeding, with original artwork by Ellen Surrey that really captures the joy of getting a card or letter in the mail. They did a fabulous job. Can we get another round of applause for Greg and Ellen? Of course, we're fortunate to have Greg with us today, and he'll be telling us more about the stamps in a few minutes. Nowadays, there are so many ways to stay in touch. We have emails and texting, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Zoom, plus a gazillion other apps and platforms. And it seems new ones are emerging all the time. They're fast, convenient, and fun. At least if they're not from the office, they're mostly fun. But there is also the very real prospect of electronic clutter. I don't know about you, but I can easily get hundreds of online messages a day. Anyone else dealing with that? I know several postal folks are dealing with that. So for me, I don't think anything beats the thrill of going to the mailbox and finding a card or letter that was written and addressed just to me. Think for a moment how wonderful it feels to receive a card for the special milestones in life. Birthdays, holidays, birth announcements, invitations to weddings and parties, and everything we love to celebrate with our friends and loved ones. Or when you're under the weather and someone sends a note with an offer to help, and a goofy card to make you smile. If anyone was going to break a leg, it was you. Feel better soon. I'm here whenever you need me. Or the attaboy or attagirl messages that lift you up when you pass a test, finish a class, or get a new job. Well done, we knew you could do it. Keep going, you got this. You are stronger than you know. But I must admit, I have a special affection for the cards sent for no occasion at all. The ones that show up out of the blue just to say, thinking of you. We miss you so much, can't wait to see you. I just heard our song and it totally made me smile. I am never not thinking of you. The best part of it is that you can revisit these smiles across the miles every time you reread these little hugs in the mail. I needed those hugs when I was younger and my family moved from Bogalusa, Louisiana to Pennsylvania. Talk about a culture shock. Letters took the sting out of missing my friends. I still have those cards and letters from many years ago, but they are some of my most precious keepsakes. I can't say the same is true for my old texts and emails. As you use these Thinking of You stamps, we hope they will encourage you to dash off a quick note to brighten someone's day. In fact, you'll have the opportunity soon. Next month, September 18th to the 24th, is Thinking of You Week, sponsored by the Greeting Card Association. And I'm sure you'll be able to find the perfect cards for the people you care about. After all, nothing else cultivates a romance, nurtures a friendship, or helps you stay connected like a handwritten card. Thank you.
Thank you, Kara. What a wonderful celebration we're having. Now I'm delighted to introduce a woman who has helped thousands of people all over the world discover the fun of collecting topical stamps like the ones we're celebrating today. Please welcome Jennifer Miller, Executive Director of the American Topical Association.
The mighty postage stamp, a very powerful item, able to carry items around the world in about 1 inch square. Stamps carry many types of mail. Some are boring and business related. Some are bills to organizations. But everyone's face lights up and our hearts skip a beat when we open the mailbox and find personal mail. A note, card, or letter that lets us know that someone is thinking of us. We send cards in celebration of birthdays, graduations, weddings, and new babies. We send cards of sympathy for those with the loss of a loved one. We send get well wishes when others are ill. But in all of these instances, what the stamp is really saying is, I'm thinking of you. But allow me to offer a different angle in the use of that phrase. In the world of philately, we are often known by what we collect. Are you a worldwide collector? Do you collect airmail? Civil War era? Perhaps you collect a particular country, Ireland, Germany, or Poland. Or maybe you are a topical collector. The most frequently asked question in the world of topical collecting is, what's your topic? While most topical collectors have many topics, there is usually one main topic that we become known for. My main topic is sheep. Gene Stout is known for penguins. Jeff Hayward collects desks. Lori Ryan is known for hedgehogs. Michelle Gresso collects typewriter stamps. Marcy Jarvis loves cats. And Christina Esbeck, whom you will meet in a minute, is known for cupcakes. When I first saw an image of this sheet of stamps, I thought, wow, this is a gold mine for topical collectors. How many topics do you see on this sheet? I counted at least 15. Dogs, cats, sun, rainbows, love, clover, ice cream, tea, flowers, butterflies, hands, candles, cupcakes, balloons, dandelions. A real smorgasbord of topics. The stamps are simple and brightly colored. They project uplifting feelings of happiness and fun, just like topical collectors. We are all about fun, you know. If you are not a topical collector, I invite you to join us. With the purchase of this sheet of stamps, you are off to a great start. Stop by the American Topical Association booth and we will gladly help guide you along the way in your topical adventures. Now, since I know you will all be stopping by to see me at the ATA booth later, I will go ahead and sit down. I don't want to make this speech too long because, well, I'm thinking of you. Thank you.
Our next speaker, Greg Breeding. He is founder and president of the design firm, The Journey Group. He has served as the art director for numerous stamps, including releases that honor the voices of the Harlem Renaissance, the War of 1812, the Transcontinental Railroad, Johnny Cash, Jimi Hendrix, farmers markets, Stars and Stripes, pony cars, and those great stamps we're celebrating today, thinking of you. Please say hello to Greg Breeding.
Thank you, Dawn, and good morning.
Good morning.
I have to confess that as an art director for postage stamp design, it is a little intimidating to speak to so many prominent philatelists. Sincerely, and especially for an issuance like Thinking of You. I know that some of you are a bit suspicious. Like many of you, I would say, I deeply respect those stamps that honor the people and events that have helped tell the American story, that have shaped our culture. As mentioned by Dawn, there are some stamps I'm really proud of, like Voices of the Harlem Renaissance, the arrival of the Mayflower, because these stamps give the public an opportunity to hear a more inclusive story. That matters. But I think we can all agree, if we could, we'd like to pass along to our children the wonder and delight of receiving a letter in a mailbox. I have to confess that when this project was assigned to me, I couldn't help but think of my own daughters and grandchildren. In fact, truth be told, I had been proselytizing my 4-year-old granddaughter into becoming a philatelist. It's very common for me. I would draw caricatures of her. I would draw unicorns, put a Wonder Woman stamp on the envelope, and send it to my granddaughter. She has learned to look for the mail truck at 3 o'clock every afternoon, making her mother crazy. So I figured, these stamps could save me the time and effort of having to draw so much. What if we hired an incredible artist like Ellen Surrey to create beautiful, gorgeous artwork? And that's what we did. In fact, Ellen Surrey is worth knowing. She's a Los Angeles-based artist. She has worked for Google, New York Times, Airbnb, and most notably the United States Postal Service. When we worked together, Christina, we had so much fun coming up with what the objects would be. Here's something that might worry you. When we showed dozens of objects to our colleagues at the Postal Service, someone made the comment, well, we've already got a birthday cake. Why do we need a cupcake? It's a very tense moment in my career, Christina. Clearly, though, we prevailed. We won out. So here's some advice that I received that might be the best advice I've heard in my life. Be kind to everyone, because each of them is going through a hard battle. What better way to encourage them than to take the time to write, I miss you, feel better, I'm grateful for you, and simply say I'm thinking of you. So while I am deeply proud of the work that we as art directors have created to honor the American story, the opportunity to help Americans 4 years old or 104 years old reach out to each other and remind each other that our lives matter is also a great honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Greg. We all appreciate his fine work. Now I'm delighted to present that grand finale that we've been talking about. I'd like to introduce Christina Esbeck. I remember the day that 6-year-old Christina came to the ATA booth at a show with her topic in mind. Were there stamps picturing that topic? Indeed there were. She went on to create an award-winning youth exhibit, which you can enjoy here at the show. Now 14, Christina enthusiastically continues to collect stamps. Christina?
Hello, thank you for giving me the chance to tell you how excited I am for the Thinking of You issue. As a collector of cupcakes on stamps, I am especially excited that the United States is issuing a cupcake on a stamp for the first time. I like collecting cupcakes on stamps because they're a symbol of celebration and happiness, and they can just bring people joy. I think that the Thinking of You issue does the same thing, because the Thinking of You issue is well designed. And when you look at each stamp, you see one symbol for each different occasion these stamps might be used for. Each different collection someone might put them in. And for example, you look at these stamps, you see a horseshoe for good luck, a cupcake for celebration, a sun for just happy days, and a bouquet of flowers representing love. Another thing that I like about these stamps is the salvage, and how it not only shows words that can be represented by the stamps, but it is also comprised of stickers that you can put onto your letter on the edge of the stamps, and they show different words that you may use the letter for. One thing that really can just make you smile is when you receive a letter in the mail and see that someone took the time to write a letter and to know that someone was thinking of you. I think that the Thinking of You stamp issue are great stamps to put on a letter that you are sending to someone to show them that you care, that you are thinking of them, and just when you want to send someone a letter that will make them smile. I hope that these stamps will encourage people to send more paper letters and to spread the joy of knowing somebody is thinking of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. Isn't it wonderful how our great hobby embraces people of every generation? Now we're near the conclusion of our ceremony, but before we go, I have to give a few thank yous and announcements. I'd like to thank Kara Green, Greg Breeding, and the United States Postal Service, Scott English, Jennifer Miller, Christina Esbeck. And of course, we also owe special thanks to Nicole Harrell with her beautiful voice and the Postal Service Honor Guard Troop. In a few minutes, some of our guests will be available to autograph your programs and other items. I think it's this way. Remember, you could purchase these wonderful Thinking of You stamps and other items at the Postal Service retail booth right here. Of course, you can also get them at your local post office and online at USPS.com. Let's hear it for our local post office. Thank you again for making this a special event. It's been a pleasure to be your MC today. Please enjoy the rest of the Great American Stamp Show. I know you will.
I think you will all agree that that was amazing. Thank you so much to the U.S. Postal Service and the GCA, specifically Rafe Morrissey, Chair of the Public Affairs Committee and contributor to Stationery Trends magazine, for helping me get here today. These stamps are incredible, but no matter what kind of stamp you have, I know there is someone out there that would love to hear from you today. So with all that said, please allow me to be the first to wish you a happy Thinking of You Week 2023.